let me give it to you. Whatever you need, I got it. You need to know anything you need, just ask and I'll provide. Whatever you want, I got it, got it.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Looking for Love. I'm your host, Trey Kearney, and this is my co-host,
Lamar Hall.
We're here every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Looking for Love. That is our new time. And we are here to bridge the gap between Generation X men and Generation X women. Instead of dividing us and causing contention, we are here to cause harmony, to get us together and to stop this gender war and just have real conversations about real things. And hey, Lamar, how's your week been? How's your week?
Going good. I'm glad it's hump day, and I'm ready for the weekend.
I know that's right. Yes, I know that's right. Ain't nothing wrong with it. We almost there. We halfway there.
Yeah. How's your week good?
My week's good. I can't complain. Just been busy working, enjoying this book that I'm reading, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It's such a good book.
I heard that book.
Yeah, you got to read it.
Is you listening audio or you
audio? I'll only do audio. So
okay.
Yeah, so I'm listening to that, and it's such a good book. So I encourage everybody to listen to that. We don't have like a book of the month segment, but since it came up and everybody's asking me what I'm doing in my business,
all right.
I just told y'all. Well, I'm just always in the process of growing now, and I know you are too. Like we always reading or sending each other something,
right?
Even though you be sending the deep stuff, and I just be like.
I just try to get some stuff. If it makes me go, I'm like, I just want to see what other people think. So that's why I send it to you.
Well, send it to somebody else. I'll be like, Mar, don't have me in here. Don't have me in here going crazy because you want me to
I don't send you the scary stuff though.
No, because you know better. I won't even open scary stuff. I am a scaredy cat and I will not open it.
Yeah, I know. I don't do that. Like I see the weird stuff like ghost and things like that stuff.
Oh, so no, don't do that because I'm
weird stuff.
Nothing I know. Send me. You know I'm a punk. And that's
I know you're the single woman, you by yourself, so you don't need those. You don't need
no. I'm a punk anyway. Even if I was with somebody, I don't like that stuff in my mind and my psyche, none of it. Right. So if you're here for the first time, we have our segments that we go through. So our first segment is What Would You Do? Where we answer our viewers' questions. Our next segment is Let's Sip on It, where we talk about celebrity relationship news. Our newest segment is Beauty and the Beast, where we give you a health and wellness tip, and then we do our final thoughts. So that is the rundown of the show. So let us get started because the time goes so fast. Let's get to our segment of What Would You Do If It Was You? Get my glasses. Okay, here we go. I'm so sick of my husband's ex being at family events. We've been married for 12 years. They have a son together who is now 16 years old. This woman has had a problem with me from the beginning because she thinks I was seeing him when they were together, which is not true. We grew up together but lost contact after high school. When we reconnected, he had not been with her for almost 2 years. I've been uncomfortable with this situation for 12 years. The family claims they have no control because of the son. His mom is very sweet and doesn't want to be mean to her grandson's mom. So I understand that. She is friends with his 2 sisters and most of the family from being around for so long. So at events, I'm always the outcast. I've expressed to my husband and the family how bad this hurts me, but it has not been corrected. My husband used the excuse for a long time that their son was so young, she wasn't comfortable with him going without her, or she had to drive him to whatever the occasion was, but now he's 16. I'm very unhappy knowing the holidays are coming and I have to spend them with her. I think I'm ready to let her have him and his family. Any advice would be greatly appreciated.
It's so unfortunate when you do get a divorce and both parties can't walk away from each other. In that sense like that, where you're so immersed in the family, obviously they might have been together a long time, but the husband, it's kind of his responsibility to kind of step up and take control of that situation, and the woman, the ex-wife is just wrong for being around. but the husband has to take a position of authority and basically lay the law down. And you're not welcome here anymore. You can't. You're making my wife uncomfortable. 12 years. Why would a man do that to his current wife with his ex-wife? I don't understand that. That's just my take. So.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Now, there's boundaries that needed to be placed a long time ago, because not that I'm blaming you, sis, because if you're listening, we're not blaming you. But boundaries should have been set a long time ago. You teach people how to treat you in the beginning. So you wouldn't be at this space 12 years later had you set the boundary when this little boy was 4 or 5 and said, we going to come pick him up. Like, he's good with his father. And like you said, the husband should have been set a boundary, and to know that you feel isolated when you're amongst them and separated from everybody, because of course they kiki and they cool because they got history, but they shouldn't be treating you like this. So I ain't mad because you're ready to go. I'm not saying leave your husband. Yeah. I'm saying that if a boundary can't be in place now, you may need to have a season of separation. And because this is unfair to you for the rest of your life, like, because she has a kid with him, she feels entitled to him. And women do stuff like this on purpose. She wouldn't be around me, because we wouldn't be coming, me and my husband. I'd be like, these are the times that we can be together with your family and her. When it's your son's birthday, Christmas I'll do, because everybody wants to be around the grandbaby. But that's as far as it goes. Her coming to Thanksgiving, other people's birthday parties. If your sisters want to invite her to their birthday party, they have every right to. But we not going.
Yeah, I mean, you have, but he should be leading this. I don't know why he's not leading this. But like you said, what we talk about all the time is your red flags, having your boundaries. Like you said, 12 years. This should have been discussed the first 6 months to a year of the relationship.
This should have been stopped.
Yeah. Well, I mean, stop. She should have been. They should not be talking about this 12 years later.
Before y'all got married, this whole thing should have been established, how that was going to work with the son coming to the house and who was going to be where. And I've seen these situations before. And like you said, it's the man. It's him. He is the problem. Like the mom said, I don't want to be in the middle of this and make my grandson feel uncomfortable. And it's not her responsibility. So I'm not saying that you should run and jump and get a divorce, even though it's been 12 years and you have expressed this. So you have to really make a hard decision and tell him either this is this or that is that, because I'm not going to be around her. This holiday, I'm not going to feel uncomfortable. I can't imagine feeling uncomfortable for the holidays. And I'm married to you. I ain't no side chick or no baby mama or none of that. And I wonder if they have children.
Yeah, I've dealt with this before. My cousin, when he got a divorce, his new wife was highly uncomfortable because the ex-wife was around, and he just removed himself. To this day, he doesn't deal with the family, just because of what happened 15 years ago. And honestly, I don't blame him. I mean, exes are exes for a reason. You don't need to be around the family anymore. None of that is necessary. It's like,
no. And like I said, only time you should be around the family is when it's pertaining to that child. His birthday, his christening, when he gets married, when he has a baby shower. That's the only time you should have to engage with that mother, when there's something going on with that mutual child. Anything other than that, the family is disrespectful. They dead wrong. And you need to separate yourself from them for a little while, because they're disrespectful. And again, the husband, he the problem. Your husband is straight the problem. And why he hasn't set a boundary is a whole nother question to what is going on. And somebody in the chat said he still love his ex.
Well, it would really depend on who asked for the divorce. I mean, if she asked for the divorce, then why is she still wanting to be around? So if he asked for the divorce, that would make more sense on why she hasn't been able to separate, because she's still longing for their family. But
when women, this is one thing I learned, when women have a kid with a man, they have this sense of entitlement that they own that man and they have access to him all times of night. But This is why you got to set boundaries. Even when I was dealing with my ex and he had his ex-wife and his kids. No, you're not going to call unless it's an emergency. You don't have access to him all the time because you have a kid with him. Now, if something happened to one of your kids, hey, you pick that phone up, you call him, I don't care what time of night it is. But you ain't calling at 12 o'clock to have no casual conversation. Or you ain't telling him to come over your house for no. We set boundaries. Like, and women who have kids with men, they have this sense of entitlement. Like, because I call when I want to call. No, you won't. You won't call this house when you want to call. You pick the right one this time, because what you're not going to do is disturb us in the middle of the night for no nonsense. And don't be calling either if that child has a cold. You know what I'm saying? Oh, she got a fever. Okay, well, give us some Tylenol. We all know what to do as mothers, because if your child is at our house, we ain't going to call you if the child has a fever unless we got to go to the hospital. Exactly. You ain't going to well, kids get colds and stomach viruses and all kind of stuff. So the problem here is, sis, you never set a boundary. And for every woman that's listening right now that's in a relationship with a man with children, it's the beginning of the relationship. You teach them people how to treat you right now. You set that boundary and you tell him and them, this is a non-negotiable. This is a deal breaker for me. And if it can't be fixed, you walk away early on before you put 12 years and build things together and buying homes and cars and businesses. You got to catch that thing at the head. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, people got to do a better job at that. I mean, and there's so many things. And that's one of the things that we talk about all the time, is that when you get married too young, but they're on their second, this is his second marriage. Your second marriage, man, you're supposed to know better.
You got to know boundaries.
Yeah, you
can't do that. But like I said, I'm not only disappointed in him, I'm disappointed in the whole family, because I know people that I've separated from my family, and I would never interject myself if my ex had a new woman. It's different if they were still single or whatever, but as soon as that new person came in as a respectful person to another woman, I'm like, I don't want to come. Like, I'm good. It's all right. Unless you need me there. Like, no. So
when you get divorced, you divorce everybody.
Yes.
You know, I'm like, we're not, you know, if I see you in the streets, cordial, but I don't need to be your friend no more.
Right. And again, she has this woman has a problem, because in her mind, she thinks that this woman was seeing him when they were together. And once a woman thinks something in her mind, I don't care how many times you tell her, no, we were not seeing each other when we were together, when y'all was together. That if that woman wants that to be her story to bring you pain, that's what she's gonna do. And this ex needs to go somewhere and heal and get some help.
Absolutely.
And clearly she has not moved on, because we're her man. You understand what I'm saying? Because wouldn't your man be like, why are you going to your ex's family's house? Like, what are y'all doing? It's not what we doing.
Yeah, so, if she had a man, she wouldn't be doing it. And that's typically what happens. You don't have a life. You don't have nothing going on. So you immerse yourself into your old life.
Well, if you just tuned in, you're tuned into Looking for Love. We are on our What Would You Do segment, where we answer our viewers' questions. And if you have an answer, please put it in. The people are most likely watching, so please put it in the chat. Tap the screen. If you are on YouTube and we are helping you out, you can give us a super chat. You can just hit the super button and it'll give us a gift. And we would appreciate that. And make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you see us when we come on live, so you don't miss anything. So we're going to get to our next question, because time keep on ticking. Into the future. Don't laugh at me.
That goes over.
I've been with my boyfriend for 3 years. We have a 6-month-old and have been living together for a year now. My birthday was August 15th. I thought for sure he would propose. He invited both of our families out to a beautiful restaurant for my birthday celebration. Unfortunately, he didn't propose. He bought me a very expensive purse and diamond earrings. Of course, I was embarrassed and hurt, and my family was pissed. We've talked about marriage several times. I'm 45 and he's 46. We are both at the top of our careers, living a very comfortable life. I'm not sure what I missed. My parents say it's time for me to give him an ultimatum. They did not raise me to be somebody's baby mama. Is it time to throw in a towel?
Well, first thing is,
first of all, let me just say this.
Well, no, you're 40. If you're 45 with a 6-month-old.
You know these women having babies at 50 now. Yeah. These
Just
women is having
listen, just cause you can do it don't mean do it. You can drive your car with your feet too. That don't mean do it.
one
So
one thing one thing that sticks out to that part. She said we're both at the top of our career. There's so many women who are career driven. That's why they're having babies later and later. You got to just look across the board at the women who are having babies in their 40s.
that's feminism that has been sold to y'all at its finest.
Oh,
Give up your youth for corporate America so we can tax you more.
oh,
Don't get me on that. But she,
what? Now you just gonna skip over that?
listen, she sounds like she's a highly intelligent a woman. Why are all of you women keep having babies with these guys and they not marrying you first?
That's right. Well, that's
I
what
don't understand that. My
we talked
daughter,
about this last week. Remember the girl grandmother? Why buy the cow when you get the milk for free? You didn't move in, you didn't gave him a baby. So why is he gonna move at your pace? And all that talking about, this is one thing women we have to talk about right now. All that talking about I'm going to marry you, words are just words, right? Words don't mean nothing. Action is everything. So we have to stop listening to, and men too, for women, but men too. Just because somebody say they're gonna do something to get you somewhere, don't mean they're gonna do it. You need to let them do it first. Like you talked about your daughter saying, there's an order. You date, you get married, then you have kids. Like we gotta start to believe that, but the world has us thinking there's women out here getting pregnant on their own. What's the chick name? Ebony, whatever her name is. She want to be a single mother. She want to have a baby. Highly intelligent or not. She went and had a baby, a surrogate or something, however she did it with an egg and some sperm. This is not real life. This is not the way things are supposed to be. Again, like the just question we just answered. You teach people how to treat you. You went out of order. Even though y'all talked about marriage, there should have been a ring on your finger or a protection on his penis, either or.
and again, people do things different, but there is a way to do it. I have made one child in this world, and that is it. I use protection. I didn't get anybody pregnant. It is possible. So this day and age, I don't understand why a woman that's 45 years old that seems pretty successful would allow herself to get pregnant to a man that wouldn't marry you first.
He said he was gonna marry her.
No, first. You should have had that expectation like that. But I think what happens in these cases that, like you said, she's successful. She wanted a kid, so she's like, "Hey, this is my last chance to get a baby. I'm gonna get a baby." That's not the mentality, ladies. Because if you're 45, that means you've had 20 years beforehand to have a baby, to find a man, to do it the right way. You chose to put career first, and right before time's running out, you're like, "Whoop, I'm gonna slip this baby in here." That's not right. You're doing it backwards. So,
well, I do believe that you should have I don't think you should give him an ultimatum. I think that you should have a conversation with him and say, this was the expectation when I moved in, right? Because the baby might just have been a oops. And, all children are a blessing. But
right.
She said, we've talked about marriage. So there's a conversation. Do you still want to get married?
She should not be asking him that, because if she asks him, he's going to put it off. It's going to be more likely than a no than a yes. If no man wants to be badgered into getting married.
Let me say this. A relationship I was in, there was marriage on the table. And then when it was time for marriage to be on the table, it was a question I asked. Do you want to get married? And the answer was marriage is not in the forecast. So guess what was in the forecast? The call to the realtor and me getting out of his house and moving on with my life. It wasn't like, I want to know why it's in the forecast. This is what we have to understand as grown up people. You ask a question, not an open-end question, a yes or no question. Do you want to get married? That's a yes or no. Anything else, I'm not sure. It's not in the forecast. Is a no, even if it's a no for right now. But
Right.
anything other than a yes is a yes, and a no is a no, and anything in the middle is bullshit.
You lose all your bargaining chips when you move in and you start pretending to be, a wife and all that other stuff. You lose all your bargaining chips. So it's best if you truly love this man and you want to get married. Hey, be like, hey, I'm not moving in. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do that until I'm married. If he loves you, guess what? He's gonna step his game up
And marry you.
and he'll marry you. It's just that simple, ladies. It's not hard. Say what you want and let him take it in. And then if he doesn't react the way that you feel he needs to react, then you need to be able to walk away, just like you said. You have to be able to. You cannot have red flags and go, well, that's my red flag, but I'm gonna bend a
Wait a
little.
little longer.
Yeah,
I
I'm
would
gonna wait a
never
little
do
longer. I'm
it.
gonna
It's
do
been
this.
3 years.
You're making excuses, man.
It's been 3 years.
Like
3 years is too long. 3 years
listen,
and a
a
baby?
man knows if he's going to marry you a year and a half after dating you consistently. He knows,
That's from a man, sis.
and
I'm
that's
not
up
a
to
man.
that's up to you for you to have some standards. Men don't run to marriage. We just don't. So it's better if it's our idea. And if you start badgering him and you're talking about it all the time, you already lost that man. Now you got a baby and you're going to be a single mama if this don't work out your way.
Better to be a single mother than to be drug around with a carrot dangling in
How
front of
about
you.
not have a kid?
Well, that's for she can't reverse
Yeah,
it.
you can't put the baby back now, but it's like for any other woman listening, don't have a baby until you get married. It's not
Unless
that
you
hard.
want, other than that, you're deciding
You're
to risk
deciding, and you
being a
don't
single
want to be
mother.
a single mother because it is tough. It is tough. And it's just like, why do you want to put yourself now? You're 45 years old with a 6-month-old, potentially not going to have a relationship, and you're going to get back out here and date.
And let me
When all your competition, their kids are 15 years older than yours.
my. Let me just say this too. You have to tell your parents to mind their business. Because at the end of the day, because her parents are saying you need to give him an ultimatum now. At the end of the day, when you wake up in that bed without him, when you give him an ultimatum and he say, okay, well, you could keep the place. I'm gonna get out of here, whatever, because you don't know what he's gonna say. Anytime I make a decision, I get sound advice from people, but make sure at the end of the day it's your decision. So if you decide to stay with him without a ring and he never marry you, it was your decision. Or if you decide to give him an ultimatum and he leave you, it was your decision. Because if you don't make this your decision, you're going to be mad at your parents. So we got to stop depending on people to make choices for us. Now, I do think that a conversation needs to be had definitely about where this relationship is going, because he's going to already know you're mad because your birthday came and you huffing and puffing around the house. Just have a conversation. Listen, I really thought that you were going to propose. I don't know what happened, and I don't know where we're going with this, but I would like to have a conversation and know where this is going. Because my desire is to be married, and we've talked about this before. And if that's no longer your desire, it's okay. You have to give people the out that they may need instead of wasting another 3 years of your life. Because I'm okay. Listen, if you can change your mind, let a sister know. Don't hold me up for another 3 years, because then you're gonna be 49.
Yeah, I mean, make the conversation to where, like you said, you give him an out because he may not be strong enough to just tell you, man, I really don't want to get married, and just tell him,
Right.
listen, here's the ultimatum. I didn't want to do this, but here now. Like, are you gonna marry me? Yes or no? Because if you don't want to get married, then I got to make a decision.
And it's okay. I'm not gonna be mad because you big, we big grown.
Right.
You can't be mad even if you have the baby because you made that choice. But you have to tell him, if you've decided that you don't want to get married anymore, that's fine with me. But don't take away my options, because she might say no and ain't gonna get married. But don't take away my choices by stringing me along, because there's somebody out there that will marry me if it's not you. So if you just tuned in, you're tuned into Looking for Love. We're here every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the New U Nation Network YouTube channel. Make sure while you're there, you hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, and then hit the notification bell so that you get notifications when we go live and when any new content comes on the New U Nation Network YouTube channel. So we're going to get to our next question because we got a lot to cover today. We got a lot to cover. We ain't nowhere near all of it. We ain't nowhere near. Oh, my guy is broke. Just I don't even gotta hear the rest. We're gonna hear the rest. I'm sorry. No, we're gonna hear the rest.
She's like, I don't even want to hear the rest. Like, fuck it.
Is he broke money wise or is he broke down there? Which broke is he? Because
yeah, let's hear it. Let's hear it. We are. This is gonna be quick.
This gonna be quick. Yeah. Okay. My guy is broke. I met this guy on a dating app. According to the app, we were well matched. We connected by phone, then decided to meet in person after a month and a whole lot of conversations. I really like him. The first 3 dates, he paid for everything. On a fourth date, he asked if I would mind picking up the tab. He was having a problem all day with his bank card. So, of course, I said yes. On our next date, he said he loved this local taco spot. I had no problem with that. The bill was $50-something. He laughed and said, "You got it." I was confused when he really slid the bill my way, so I paid it since it was just tacos and a couple of drinks. He then invites me to dinner. During the call, I ask who's paying. He proceeds to tell me he's going through a rough patch and should be back on his feet soon. We're both in our late 40s. He deceived me. I made it clear I don't do struggle love. Now he's begging me to work through this tough time with him. I've been avoiding him because for me, that's a deal breaker. Are we still dating potential at this grown age? No.
No, I mean, if you said that's one of your deal breakers, then stand on it and move on. I mean, that's exactly what we're talking about, is that you have a standard. You said you're not going to do it, but now you're here making excuses for it. Stop it.
That's the problem.
Stop making excuses. You're bending the rules for your deal breakers.
You bending the rules because you're getting something out of him that you want, whether it's companionship or dick, excuse me, Lord, or whatever it is. I'm sorry. Whatever it is, you're getting something from this man that you are about to ignore the blaring red flag. It's not a circus, okay? It is the fact that this man is broke. And he already did not tell you the truth from the beginning. He should have told you from the start. Listen, I'm going through a rough patch. So you could have said, you know what? I don't even want to get to like you. When you finish with your rough patch, come back on the dating app. And if I'm free, I'll hit your profile and we can go out. He deceived you. He's a liar. From the first 3 dates, he paid to trick you. And then he said he don't have his bank card. No, you don't have no money. I'd rather an honest guy, seriously. But you lied to me and got to know me, and I like you. I don't like that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff.
I mean, it's a new relationship. They're probably not even 2 months in. You know, they're only 8 dates in. So it's like, I mean, stand on what you stand on. This is your time to go. This is one of my red flags. This is what I'm going to stand on. Walk away, whether he has money or not. Whether it is, I mean, he's paid for 3 dates. Cool, whatever. But
he going through a rough patch, and then
it just, to me, it sounds like he's a little too comfortable with sliding the bill to you. You know, don't listen. If I'm a man and I don't have a lot of money to go out, we're not going out.
That's it.
That's what we'll do. We won't go out. I'm not going to
bottle of wine.
Yeah, we're gonna sit in the house and we can make it work.
That's it.
But I'm not gonna. If a guy doesn't have money, why are you out in the streets?
Getting you to pay for it. That's trickery. I don't like trickery. Don't be tricking me. Like, no, you tell me from the beginning. Once you trick me, I don't trust you.
I don't trust you. It just feels weird. Something feels weird, and I can't put my hand on it. It's like he didn't have a problem with the first 3, but then your money gets tight, but you're still going out. I don't know about that.
Tricked her. That's trick because he wanted her to think that there was a certain thing going on, right? So you get to know a person. Oh, he takes me out to nice dinners, and then you come after the woo woo woo, and she like you, or we like you, and then you say, "Oh, let me be honest with you. I'm going through a rough patch." No, you should have told me you was going through a rough patch from day one and let me make a decision of if I wanted to go out with you, period. Like you kind of sound like we don't know what the date was, but it don't sound like it was coffee and donuts. Like you should have took me to Dunkin' Donuts on the first date. And I would have been like, okay, cool. We starting this thing out slow, but you taking me somewhere and then you're going to slide me a bill?
Shit, I'm like, where they getting these $50 dates at? Shit, that's what I want.
His local taco place.
Yeah, I'm like a $50 date.
Maybe you know on Taco Tuesdays. Listen,
that's appetizers and one drink.
but on Taco Tuesdays, you know they have tacos because he a player. I'm telling you, he did this before. I don't care what nobody say. Run for your life.
Stand on your business.
Stand on your right. If that is a deal breaker for you, ain't no reason in going back on whatever your word is. Just do what you need to do.
Not at all.
So that's that. So if you just tuned in, this is Looking for Love. We are about to go to our next segment, baby. Let's sip on it. Let's sip on it is our celebrity segment where we talk about celebrity relationships. What you sipping on, Lamar?
I done got hooked on this rum and juice, so I'm back on that. So I kind of
rum punch. Rum punch.
You know what? I like Mai Tais, so it's kind of feels like a Mai Tai. Makes me feel like vacation.
Okay. I'm drinking some water because I had a migraine and I wanted to come back.
All right.
But I do have 2 drops of doTERRA lemon essential oil in it, which is good for you.
You know, peppermint's good for headaches, right?
Yes. You already know I had peppermint oil. Almost got some in my eye. You know, you could feel the steam. Like, oh, don't give it in my eye. Don't give it in my eye. So let's talk about this celebrity relationship segment. So let me get my notes out.
Here we go.
Pull this up real quick. So let me put us over here. Basketball Wives LA star Jennifer Williams is married. The reality television star finally married her fiance Christian Gold in Paris over the weekend. The couple's ceremony was intimate and attended by close family and friends. Christian Gold is on probation for false imprisonment charge. What does it mean to be accused of false imprisonment? A person commits false imprisonment when they engage in the act of restraint on another person, which confines that person in a restricted area. Some examples of false imprisonment include physical barriers, using a locked door to confine someone, physical force, using physical force to restrain someone, failing to release someone who is being held, invalid use of legal authority, arresting someone without a warrant, with an illegal warrant, or with a warrant that was illegally executed, threats of force, threatening someone with immediate physical force. Instead of being in a festive mood, here's the thing, Lamar.
Yeah.
Here's the celebrity talk. Instead of being in a festive mood, Basketball Wives personality Jennifer Williams might be on edge ahead of her wedding. Her fiance Christian violated his probation and was jailed just a week before their wedding. The couple is set to get married on September 14th in Paris, which they did. Williams stood by her husband-to-be when he was sentenced to 15 days for probation violation. Luckily, the judge made an exception, saying Gold was allowed to serve 2 days in jail and then travel to his wedding in Paris on the 14th. However, after the wedding, Gold must return to DeKalb County to spend the rest of the 15 days behind bars. Yes, this means there likely won't be an immediate honeymoon for the couple. Now let's just unpack this, Lamar. Talk about a red flag. This is what we were just talking about with this woman with deal breakers and red flags. And we as women, what you think? This man, they got their wedding postponed for a few days because of violation of probation for imprisonment.
Listen, that whole circuit of Basketball Wives and women are red flag. They're walking red flags.
But false imprisonment. So he did something to somebody to hold them.
Yeah. I mean, all those guys are con artists. I mean, they're con artists. They're schemers. They're all of that stuff. They all do that. Like I haven't watched any of that. This disclaimer: I haven't watched any of that stuff in over 10 years. So, what was the one girl? She was married to the dude, and he was in prison, and he spent 4 or 5 years in prison and this and that. And I'm like, they all do these PPP loans and all they all entrepreneurs and they all, you know, it's like,
what would make you, what would make you go along with marrying this person who has a charge of false imprisonment, is on probation for, so he was convicted of this crime, and then he was arrested for violating his probation, which held up your marriage. How many signs do you need from God? You need a stop sign to fall on your head? Like, what are we doing? And this is the problem when this person comes back, like the other girl, Portia, with the guy, Simon, I think his name is, that was a scammer, like you said. Mm-hmm. She was all in love and all. What are we doing as women that we are just going against, not even finding out after, but knowing what we're getting into, and then we get mad when it comes to it, and we're like, I can't believe this is happening. Why can't you believe this is happening when you have the facts in front of you? Like this woman, this man ain't got no money for tacos. What is you talking about? Like, are we still dating potential? What do you mean? What are we talking about here? And it blows my mind with us as women that we want to blame the man at the end of the day when all hell breaks loose.
There's I don't know. I don't know what's the allure of those type of women that want to deal with those. But I see that whole TV show wanting to be famous and all that I don't know. That to me, this seemed like a bunch of schemers, a bunch of clowns. I listen. She was married to a basketball player. That's how she got on the whole thing. She was married to Eric Williams a long time ago. And you know, these guys, they after a while, these guys get smarter. They get caught up in the looks and everything. And then after a while, they start seeing these women, these basketball gold diggers, the Dreas and things like that. They start seeing them for what they are, and they go, "Hold up, man!" And they just move to the next guy, you know. And it's just like, I don't know.
I just think that we as women have to stop blaming men for the silly decisions that we're making, knowing what we're getting into, and then thinking that we could date somebody's potential. Like, this is a major red flag that he was arrested for false imprisonment. Like, he held somebody up against their will. Like, you willing to risk? I don't know. Maybe it's just me, and I'm just like, this is recent. I never want to hold anybody's past against them, but this is recent. He's still on probation for this. Like, is he in therapy? Do you know? Like, does he have anger issues? Like, who holds false imprisonment? Who does that? Have you? What have? Like, seriously.
And it bothers me that people look at that whole type of, not her per se, but that whole type of thing, and they'll pick one or two people. Oh, those are relationship goals. None of those people are relationship goals.
No, heck no. Ain't nobody relationship goals in my eyes. Nobody.
Build your own, because the ones y'all idolize, they ain't worth nothing.
Everybody got problems.
Yeah.
Every person, I don't care if they got a good marriage, or it still shouldn't be your relationship goals, because you probably couldn't get through what they've been through to be who they are as a couple for 54 years. So that ain't your relationship goal, because if you want to go through what they went through to get there, then you shouldn't be asking for that. You shouldn't be asking for that. So if you just tuned in, you're tuned into Looking for Love. We're here every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is our new time, 9 p.m. We are live. If you have a question for us, you can send it to info@newunationnetwork.com, info@newunationnetwork.com. If you would like to advertise with us or sponsor a segment with your beauty care products or something that you would like to get in front of people, please send us an email at info@newunationnetwork.com. Serious inquiries, is that what they say? Only don't send us, no, please. Not serious. Yeah, just don't send it. So we're going to get to our next segment. So before we do our Beauty and the Beast, let's do the video that you sent me, and let's just talk about this a little bit.
Yeah, this is going to be a hot one.
What do a 45-year-old and a 25-year-old have in common besides their genitalia? A 45-year-old guy can't find a 40-year-old woman? A 38-year-old? Hey, bro. And we all know what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's like the guy has hit his midlife crisis. His first marriage didn't work. And then I'm going to re-up and show you that I still got it. And so I get the pretty young thing. I ain't got nothing in common with her. We don't have no shared experience from our generation. But she likes my money. She don't even like you. She likes your money. And so the woman wants stability. So she sacrifices connectivity with somebody that she can relate with for stability and comfort. Because the older man is already financially secure. She just needs a dad.
Oh.
And because she didn't have that.
That is a lightning. I sent it to you because that is a lightning bolt to my ass. So that's what everybody thought about me. So a couple of things. You can take it a couple of ways. So I'm gonna go two ways with this. The first is you don't know a situation, with a 45-year-old and a 25-year-old. You don't know. Like in my situation, it was my job. I'm not 45 at my job. I have to know culture. I have to know music. I have to know all these other things. So I'm 35-ish, 32-ish at best. I dated a 25-year-old for 4 years. We had a great time. But at some point, they do show their age. The reason a man of 45, me, would go after someone that age, because I'd never dated a woman with kids before. So my first reaction was, that's not what I want to do. I don't want to go play stepdaddy initially. So you go down the age bracket, and you meet people how you meet them. But when you meet somebody, you want them to be available. If you have children, you're only somewhat available. I wanted my person to be available all the time. So that's why I didn't date those women. And it wasn't about money. It can be, but the stability, what young women are experiencing now is that their generation of men have no values. They don't open doors. They don't look out for them. They don't know how to do anything that prior older generations have taught them. And you can go all the way up almost to 35. I was at the gym talking to some young guys, and they don't open doors for their girls. They don't do these things. They don't do flowers. They don't do these things. So if I'm from a generation that does those things, and I can go get a beautiful woman that will greatly appreciate it, I'm going to do it 100% of the time. That's just, I'm going to do it. Why would I do that? Why would I go get, at 45, go get a 40-year-old woman who probably has a kid or two?
Because you're a 45-year-old man with a kid.
But I don't have, my daughter's grown. And if your child is grown,
but you can find a woman with grown kids.
Not you can, but then what happens is women over the age of 40 are set in their ways. They're not fun. Y'all don't like to do certain things. And I'm not saying all, I'm just saying the ones that I ran into. The ones I ran into, they in bed by 9:30.
Well, hey, listen, you got to find one that's not in bed. There's some that are not in bed by 9:30. Listen, I'm in bed by 10:30.
But it takes time. But I think every man should have experiences with each type of woman that's out there. A man is a better version of himself if he has experiences with multiple different types of women. A young woman, a middle.
I agree with him. What does a 45-year-old man have in common with a 20-year-old? Like, yo, no, that's a girl. Like a 20. I was 20. I'm speaking from a woman's.
She's 25. My daughter's 25. Granted.
25. What does a 45-year-old man want with a 25-year-old girl? Like that's a big stretch. Like I'm not saying that a man shouldn't have a woman that's younger than him, but what do y'all don't have nothing in common. You don't know nothing about cartoons I watch. You don't know nothing about my culture. You don't know about the things that I've been through. You have no life experience. Your conversation is not going to be on a level of mine. I can't even imagine. I'm a 54-year-old woman. I can't even imagine dating a 34-year-old man or even a 44-year-old man is a stretch for me because the conversation and the level of experience that I have is so different. The only reason why I would probably want to date a younger man is to manipulate him because I know more than him. Like there's that age gap, it makes a big difference along the way. It makes a big difference when you are when like he said, I totally agree with him. If a woman is that age and she's with a man that's older, she's either looking for somebody to take care of her as a father figure financially, or she looking for a daddy because her daddy ain't in her life and she never had that.
So,
There's
so
mhm.
historically, I'll say most of those young girls do have daddy issues, but you got to understand that dating pool, those women want out. That you think our pool has piss in it, their pool has shit in it. So it's like they don't. That's
well,
why
they
they're.
well they the piss in the pool because they ain't no better than the shit in the pool. These
Well, I'm
young
saying is that they're going upwards because of the young men there. Obviously, men at 25 years old. I was 25. I wasn't worth shit. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what was important. So these social media is making these kids grow up and they want things way too fast. So at
right.
25, a woman historically is going to be more mature than that man at 25. So women already have dated. Y'all always date older. The girl in high school, every one of y'all know dated a college guy. Y'all always go older. But then when it goes to the point where then when both people are grown, now
It's
it's a
different dating a college guy. You 16 and he 18. And he
no, no,
18
no,
and
no, no. I was in them girls be 16 dating 22, 23-year-olds. You're like, what the and you go like, whoa, like that's
right. That's a red flag. That wasn't a lot of the girls. So that's a red flag. And I'm speaking from experience of being a younger woman. But I'm saying even these young women now, as ratchet as the dudes are, they just as ratchet, if not more ratchet. They are disgusting, these young women. And I'm not saying all of y'all, but y'all, the young women nowadays, they out here for is to come up. They want to be a superstar. They want to be with somebody with money. They want to be on a yacht. You ain't entitled to that stuff. You ain't no better than a young thug on the corner just because your mentality is I'm gonna get this older man, he gonna buy me stuff. You a prostitute. They out here, it's transactional with these young women. Like he said, she don't like you. She just wants your money.
I think there are women out there like that. That has not been my experience. I don't deal with the ratchetness, but it's just I've had friendships with these young ladies, and I've done it. I've dated as 23 years younger than me. It's typically been around 10, 15 years. So it's just the women 45 and older that I have met. It's just y'all not fun. This is what it is. Y'all want to go to bed early. Y'all not a lot of fun. Now I've learned, I
Fun
do
that
some.
you want. No, see, this is the thing. We're not fun to you, the fun that you want. But most of us are not running into you who work in an industry
Right.
where you are cutting, you have to know what's going on. Most of us are running into a 45-year-old man and older who go to bed at 10 o'clock with us.
Right.
So,
I'm not the average 52-year-old. I understand that.
right,
So if I use my guy friends as a gauge, yeah, they're the hey now guys. That's
right.
most
Yeah.
of them are
So
like
it's
that.
not y'all
So
as a
I have
dude,
a way younger spirit. So I'm always going to attract younger, whether it's 10
right?
years or 20 years younger than me. That's me.
Right, because I want to go to bed at 10:30. Seriously, like I don't want to be up. I don't want to be out in a club. Like don't invite me to no party that started at 11
Right.
o'clock. Getting there, done that, got a t-shirt and a hat. Like I don't want to do that. I want to be at a day party. I want to go somewhere where they playing some R&B music, or where it's cool and mellow, or we could chill at home and listen to some R&B, drink some wine, because that's where we're supposed to be at right now. Now, we can have a hot night where we go out and stay out late and be sleepy the next day, and that's cool. But the regular 45, like he said, 45, 50-year-old man, the ones that are doing that, you going through a midlife crisis. You trying to like, oh my God, I'm getting old. I have to make sure I still got it. Listen, you don't still got it, and it's gonna be a problem. And because she ain't gonna take care of you. As soon as the chips fall down, she gonna be like, oh no.
That's one thing, guys. So, just being transparent, the reason why I stopped dating younger is because I started to think about it and go like, is it really fair to date somebody and give them 20, 25 years of my life, then I die and they're going to be by themselves. So now they got to get back out there, preferably at 50.
Right.
So that's why I left it alone. So 40 is the cutoff for me.
Right. Is it really fair for me to bring a young man in my life, and I know I'm having hot flashes and sweats and dry and stuff is going on, but a man my age, I know that you having some rough nights and your balls is hitting the water in the toilet and you squeezing the tip to make sure pee ain't leaking on your pants. So we can have these conversations. You can't have these conversations with no 20, 25-year-old. She don't understand. I understand why you in the bathroom a little bit longer. You making sure you ain't need no pee in your urethra.
Listen, whoever told you that, they wrong. They are dead fucking wrong.
They told me the truth.
They tell you way too much info.
Listen, it's that we all going through something, but that's the beauty of aging together, right? That's the beauty of me being a 54-year-old woman, you being a 52-year-old man, or me being with a man that's 60, because I'm 54, so 60 is probably in my range. 60 and healthy. I don't want to pin on myself, but the reality of the situation is, women is when they got men's Depends commercials now. I'm like, oh my God, the men's Depends. I was mortified by the women's Depends, but the men got on Pampers too. But that's the beauty of us aging together, because nothing's going to surprise me if you come to me and say, babe, guess what happened to me? Okay. I'll be like, oh, it's all right.
I've grown. Listen, I've grown. I get it. I've grown, but it was good to experience it. Now, here's the other side of it. A guy like that can't get a younger woman, he comes across a little bitter. Because if you could do it, 9 out of 10 of y'all would do it.
Wow.
That's just the reality. I'm not saying you would stay there and move to there, but you would visit Youngville. So it's on you. So we'll all take a ride and take a spin around the block if we could.
I understand. So, like I said, I just feel like that difference once we hit 40, 45 years old, that them young people, like we are experiencing building something and things are happening in our body. And we pray to God that most of us are healthy. But don't no young man want to see me have a chin hair, you know what I'm saying? Or gray vaginal hair. It's like, oh my God, what is going on? These are the things that's happening to us.
Like, I don't want to see that shit either.
No, I know nobody wants to, but at least we mature enough to understand. You know, the reality of the is that's why we here on this show looking for love for Generation X, because the reality of our situation is real. We got saggy titties, y'all got saggy nuts, and that's just the reality for us. And we don't mind. Like, we gotta understand, y'all might need a nut bra. Like, hold that thing up, put on some underwear, some tighties.
What kind of nuts you done seen? There's some,
listen,
you got what do you call it? 2 rocks and some pantyhose?
No, I heard some stories. So, and not only the men with the 2 rocks and some pantyhose, but the ladies, we got 2 eggs hanging on a nail. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, fried eggs on the nail all day long.
We go through stuff, but as mature adults, we can have these conversations, but we can't have these conversations with no young boys, no young girls. They're not trying to get that. They like, what is that? Like.
Okay, but listen, most guys that go to the gym and take care of themselves, they're gonna go down, unfortunately, because majority of us, men and women, do not go to the gym. Like I go to the gym 3-4 times a week. There's not enough of us in the gym, which leads me to believe that we just don't take care of ourselves. There are plenty of people of color, that should be in the gym that are not, and I'm telling you, these white women, and they are in that gym. And I don't know if it's a cultural thing where their husbands are making them or demanding them, or they just the peer pressure, but they are in there and they not playing,
Yeah,
so.
it's a different. Well, it's culture. It's different for them. Like they are taught this when they're growing up. We've been taught to make collard greens and fried.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta be more healthy
We
in
doing
our.
better now. A lot of us are doing better now, but back in the day, that they weren't talking about going to no gym. You know what I'm saying? Most of us, if we get it from our mom, if our mama was in shape, like we just naturally was in shape. But then your mama didn't get it from your mama, so you had to get on the treadmill and you didn't. And once you pass that threshold, it's hard to come back. We
I
have a
remember I remember my mama used to tell me when I was little, I might be about 12 or 13 years old. She said, them little girls with them big old booties, they get fat later. My mama said that. I didn't understand it. I truly didn't understand it. But as you get older, you go like,
Yep. Okay. And my mother used to say, if you want to know what a woman gonna look like, look at her mother. And that's true. So you got to look at mother and father.
Pretty good tale.
Yes. Most divorces take place while women are in perimenopause. Those symptoms are a B. Women are being persecuted for our natural rhythm of life. Let me answer this to Stephanie, because I talk about this often. Women are checking out, and it's not necessary, because when it comes to relationships, women don't want to do their part in relationships no more, and they use perimenopause and menopause as an excuse. And I can talk about the natural rhythm because I'm going through it, because I have hot flashes, I have my equilibrium being off, my hair's falling out, every symptom that you could think of, I'm going through it. But I don't make excuses for it to stop my life. And women will do everything else but do what they need to do to please their husbands and say it's perimenopause and you don't understand the symptoms. And I talked about this on my show, Relationship Maintenance, the other night, about other ways to please your man, because my vaginal skin is thin down there, and I read an article on that. My vaginal skin, is down there, it's getting sensitive. I'm dry, and all of these other excuses that women are making not to please their husbands. And I told y'all on the show that night, and I'm not just saying this to you, I told y'all on the show that night, you got a hand, a mouth, and some toys. So you got to find other ways to please your husband and stop talking about women are being persecuted and for our natural rhythm and our natural. No, you need to do what you need to do to maintain your relationship with your husband. And there is no excuse for not pleasing your husband. He don't have to touch your vagina if that's not what you want, but you got a mouth and you got a hand and some KY jelly and you got some other things. You got toys. If his penis ain't getting hard no more, y'all could bring some toys in the room and he can use it on you. Y'all quick to go to the Rosebud or whatever that thing is without your husband, but you're not willing to work. That's why the divorce rate is high. That's why women are divorcing, because you rather divorce your husband than to meet him halfway, and that's sad. And a man will stay with a woman as long as she's working on it, but to just check out and tell him it is what it is and you're never going to have sex again because I'm a 45, 50-year-old woman going through menopause is a crock of BS, and we got to stop it both ways. I'm sorry, but I just needed to.
Hey, listen, when you get on, I love you for that, man. I do. I love you for that. That shit is real shit. I'm like, man, women need to hear that. Too many relationships
I'm just saying that I know as a woman, Lamar, what my body is going through. But I know I got to get up. I have my child on the spectrum. My hip hurt. My hip hurt bad a lot of the times, and I know my doctor told me it's due to menopausal symptoms. We working through it. But I still got to get up and feed my son. I still got to give him a shower. I still got to assist him. So women, you still got to take care of your husband. But you'll go out to brunch with your girlfriends. You'll go serve the community. You'll serve in church 3 days a week. But then you'll come home and say, I'm going through menopause. Don't touch me. You're sleeping all the way on the other side of the bed. And I'm sorry, it's not necessary. As long as you're trying, that man will be okay. If you're trying with your mouth, your hand, a toy, he'll be fine. But don't just say, I'm going through menopause and we're being persecuted for it. You're not being persecuted for anything. You're being persecuted because you checked out of your relationship and you think it's okay, and it's not. You got to find a way to make a way, as my boy HRJR would say. So that'll be my my tip for Beauty and the Beast. You have to go and make a way to please your partner, and it's vice versa for men too. If old Jimmy won't get up no more, go to the store with your wife, the nasty store on the highway that we pass by, got the little porn thing in the back. I know we all been to it. I know, I was married. I know. Lamar, you know what I'm talking about.
He's in the nasty store on the highway.
On the highway. You know, you pass and they got the little legs out there with the lady with the fishnet stockings. And then you go in there and they got, you know, all of the toys, the dildos, and they got the maid suits and
listen,
and in the back they got the porn room. You see the little crazy people back there. You like, but you got to do what you got to do.
Oh,
I'm sorry. See,
you have to share that experience with your partner, and it's like you can't check out. You know, like you said, men are willing to work at the relationship as long as you're putting forth some type of effort. The moment you quit is when we give up. So it's like you can't. Yes, you may not feel like you want to have sex, but you gotta keep the peace, and you gotta look at it from his eyes too. It's like, come on, man, you gotta give him something. You know, it's like you can't deprive him. I mean, if he's starving, guess what? Hands work, mouth works, and that'll keep the stress down.
That'll keep everything down. But the women who are going through menopause are really saying, I can't do nothing. No. And they talk about, you know, you don't understand because it hurts. And I'm saying, I'm not even talking about him doing that no more until y'all work that out. But you got to do something. You see a comment you want to read?
I'm just reading. Jeez.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me see.
I'm just reading that. Yeah.
I love the fact that I'm past all that. I'm 66 and my man is 72. Spinal fusions, baby. I love this side. And F the moon suntan. Hold on.
They just roommates. They just sitting around Golden Girl together. They good. ain't nobody getting it in. Ain't nobody asking that he get it in.
Yeah, coconut oil is fabulous for vaginal dryness. Smells good, tastes great. He's good with it. Okay, we sharing tonight. If this is helping you out, y'all can hit the super chat. There's a little super button. Hit the super button if it's helping you out. Why check out? Don't check out.
No, never.
Same here regarding don't let it stop. The issue is most men don't understand, like you said. Some men don't want to hear it. Okay, it's not that some men don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear that you don't want to do nothing. That's what most men don't want to hear, that you don't want to do nothing. And that's what most women are doing. And that's why women are filing for divorce so much, because they don't want to do nothing. And then we have the problem of infidelity. Cheating is a symptom of a bigger problem. And then you wonder why. You tell your family you're leaving him because he cheated, but you don't tell your family you haven't had sex with him in 7 years. That's the reality of the situation. You tell your family, I'm getting a divorce because he this and he that, but you're not telling the whole story, that cheating is the symptom of the bigger problem of this man telling you 999,000 times, and you it falling on deaf ears. At some point, he gonna go outside and temptation gonna find him.
Y'all heard that? That's for the people in the back.
And temptation gonna find him.
The people in the back, okay, they heard it. They heard you.
I hear you, Stephanie. Most men don't want to hear that. But no, most men don't want to hear that they're never going to have sex again. They're never going to have intimacy. Let's take sex out of it. Most men don't want to hear that we're never going to be intimate again. And when women shut down, they shut it all off. They shut the mouth, they shut the hand, they shut the toys, but they'll go in a room by themselves and they'll please themselves and leave that man thirsty, dry, and in the desert. And if a person is thirsty and dry in the desert, if you give them a cup of piss, they gonna drink it. So when this woman comes along so many times and offers herself up, it's only a matter of time after 7 years that the 7-year itch ain't gonna hit. So I'm sorry. We back on track. If you just tuned in, you're tuned into Looking for Love. I don't know what part you came in on, but we were just discussing with part of our audience, what's going on. And these are just the conversations that we have to have as Generation X men and women, as not to divide us or cause a gender war, but to be honest and bring each other together to say a man can't just check out on his wife because he's having ED, erectile dysfunction, and a woman can't check out on her husband because she's going through menopause. We got to meet somewhere in the middle with a toy, some lube, whatever we need to do. It's possible to keep that marriage together unless somebody totally checks out. And like Lamar said, what happens? Marriages are over when both people check out at the same time. Usually one person is fighting for the marriage. Like when that man, please, babe, I just want I'm working on this. Let's go to the doctor. Let's do this. Or the woman is saying, please, baby, pay attention to me. This is why women sleeping with pastors. The pastor, the wolf in sheep clothing. We got single pastors. And your wife is going to him, telling him all your problems, and you wonder why the pastor running through the congregation, because men, y'all ain't doing what y'all supposed to do at home. So women, hey, it's secret. He ain't going to tell nobody because he the pastor. But we don't want to go there. We don't want to go there.
Trey, you're killing them today, boy. Some of y'all taking that to the right. Yeah.
Health and wellness segment. If you just tuned in, you're tuned in to Looking for Love. We're here every third Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you become a member on our YouTube channel, we are going to start having after hours talks where we can get a little bit deeper than we do here. So we'll come in sometimes, maybe Lamar at midnight, and just have some deeper conversations. So but that'll be for members only, so we know who's in the room. So if you want to give us a super chat, if this was helpful to you, hit the super button. If you want to send us a question, you can send us a question at info@newunationnetwork.com. We'll be glad to answer your questions. So we're going to get to our final segment, which is, hold on, Beauty and the Beast. He's the beauty and I'm the beast.
Cracks me up every time.
Which is our health and wellness segment. And we're going to get some health and wellness tips. Do you have your health and wellness tip for today?
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, what's really, weighing heavy on me lately is, I had a family member diagnosed with cancer. So, just people, please, your health is everything. Get checked out once a year on your birthday. Make it something. We have to make sure we are doing the right things and do your homework. Eat what eat right. Get the exercise you need. It's so simple now. It is so simple. And if you wait till something bad happens to jumpstart it, don't do that. It's horrible, man. You look at a family member that's going through something like this, and then unfortunately you see that it was, I'm not saying it was preventable, but it might have been early detection had you gone to the doctor. So it's very important. Men, go. I know it's not ideally, the prostate check is not, every man has that phobia about it. I did it at 45. It's time to do it again. And I get the anxiety, you just kind of go like, I really don't want to do this, but you have to. My grandfather died of prostate cancer. So I have to do it. I have to. So get checked out, people, make your health a priority in so many ways, please.
Thank you, Omar. That was amazing. So I have a video I wanted us to share that I heard today on Instagram, and I love this guy. And he shared 5 drinks that are good for your brain. 5 drinks that are good for your brain. He works, helps people fight against Alzheimer's and dementia. So I'm gonna bring him to the stage.
Number 1, a lot of you haven't had this before, but it's delicious. It is beet juice. Make sure you eat some protein or some fiber before so that you don't spike your blood sugar. But beet juice, this is really great because it increases something called nitric oxide. Nitric oxide helps dilate the blood vessels, really good for the heart. What's good for the heart is good for the brain. What's good for your cardiovascular system is good for the brain. And beet juice tastes really, really good. Drink number 2, you know this one, it is green tea. Research out of Japan of 1,000 Japanese people found that those who drank 2 cups of green tea or more per day had a 43% reduction in their symptoms of dementia. Drink number 3 is turmeric latte. You can also use curcumin powder to make it even more powerful. So why is this so good? So curcumin in animal studies helps reduce plaque in the brain. Plaque is associated with Alzheimer's disease. Curcumin is also anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, is good for your overall health. Really, really powerful for your brain and actually improves memory. Now, what is a turmeric or curcumin latte? Here's what you do. Take some turmeric spice, some black pepper, and some cinnamon. Simmer that in coconut milk. Strain the spice, and then add a little cinnamon on top. You can add a sweetener like monk fruit sugar or maple syrup, and that is a delicious drink that is going to be really good for your brain. Drink number 4. This one's really controversial. It is organic coffee. There's some people say, and they cite research, that coffee is not great for your brain. Caffeine's not great for your brain. Yet there's other research to show that caffeine actually helps prevent the accumulation of amyloid plaque in the brain. Caffeine can also improve memory. Caffeine can also help reduce the risk of depression. And coffee is great for your brain. Coffee is rich in polyphenols. Polyphenols are really good for your gut bacteria. What's good for your gut is good for your brain. Drink number 5. This one might be the most powerful. It is matcha. Matcha is like green tea on steroids. So matcha has like 10 times the antioxidants of green tea. It is a little bit bitter, so I like to add a little bit of MCT oil and blend that in my matcha with a little monk fruit sugar. Tastes great. You can also use coconut oil as well. I love you. God bless you.
Yes. So those are 5 drinks.
I love different things of doing different, ways and stuff like that. Like I said, when I get my house, I'm gonna start. I don't have a green thumb, so I'm gonna try to grow some things that I like to eat, with cucumbers and tomatoes and stuff like that.
Green thumb. Yes, you do.
I'm gonna try it. I mean, I got a plant here. I haven't killed it yet, so it's definitely doing.
Don't kill you. I have a green thumb. I have plants all in my house, so I love.
I mean, I remember my grandmother used to grow vegetables and stuff, and I've never done it before, so I'm definitely gonna look into doing it because there's so much pesticides and stuff in our food and so much chemicals, and it's bad, guys. If you start really doing the research, you really start seeing how bad fast food and all the junk food and all this. I mean, you just start looking at it, you go like, oh my goodness, it's horrible.
I had for dinner I had beef and broccoli, but the beef I used mushrooms to substitute the beef because I haven't had meat since June.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
This is my 3rd month. So I sauteed the mushrooms and seasoned them like I would season my meat. Mm-hmm. And I got me some organic broccoli. It was organic mushrooms too, some organic broccoli, and I made me some jasmine rice on the side. And it was really good. It was just like beef and broccoli from the.
So 3 months of not having any type of meat. What's the main thing you've noticed?
I've noticed less inflammation in my joints, less pain in my joints. I've noticed I'm going to the bathroom more regular. Yeah, I'm more hydrated. Less brain fog. And that's why I really fasted in June, for the month of June, for my kids, just so God could bless them. I fast and prayed for them for the month of June. And my fast was from meat, from chicken and beef. I haven't eaten pork in 30 years. Yeah, but chicken and beef, I said, let me fast off of meat. And after the month, I felt so much better. Like I even felt more woke. So I said, is it the meat? So I was like, why would I even eat something? One, because of all the things that they're doing to the meat now. Like all the studies they're showing with the chicken, they pulling it apart. And I was already getting away from chicken because me cleaning chicken now just grossed me out. Like looking at it is just like,
they say the lifespan of a chicken. Guess how long a lifespan of a chicken is these days?
Tell me.
60 days.
What?
60 days from conception to slaughter. 60 days.
Don't say
so you have to ask yourself, how much chemicals, growth hormones are they pumping in these chickens? They can in 60 days they're killing them. So it's like, there's a lot of stuff out there, documentaries and stuff like that. You start going down a rabbit hole. I'm already like, now I'm getting away from the plant-based food because somebody sent me an article on that. Like, sis, I know you're trying to do better, but that ain't no better. Right. Might as well go back to eating meat. So I was talking to my girl, Netta, who is a holistic expert. She was like, this is what you need to do. You can take those portobello mushrooms, you can make them taste like meat. You can make this, you can use carrots for this. So she started telling me some different things that I could use. She said, now
if you want to do the plant-based, sometimes don't make it your diet because it can cause cancer. Like they've done some research where plant-based certain products, I don't know what brands, so don't quote me on that,
Right.
are linked to breast cancer. And my mom died from breast cancer. So after that, I was just like, I ain't buying no more of that. Like, so I'm like, we gonna get these mushrooms, these carrots, this cabbage, this, and cabbage too. I was eating a lot of cabbage last month, and I noticed my joints too. Like, I felt so much better, like from cabbage. And I read a study.
I need to do something. I went to the gym today. My elbows are killing me. I mean, it's like tennis elbow. It's just, the inflammation, and I need to get back to taking the turmeric shots that I need to take. But it's just like I don't, like I was telling the guy in the gym today, I don't lift heavy anymore. Just my joints can't take it anymore.
Right.
It's too much. It's just
Cabbage.
I got to do. I'm telling you, when I move into my new house, it's going to be all different. I tell people all the time, fasting. There's a doctor that fasting is amazing. You've been trained that you think you need to eat 3 times a day. You don't. You probably need to eat 1.5 times a day, really. So it's like, control it. I tell people all the time, it's like, if you can't control what you put in your mouth, that's the first line of discipline. If you can't do that, if you can't stop yourself from putting something in your mouth, it's going to be very difficult for you to be successful because you lack discipline.
Wow. So if y'all just tuned in, you're tuned in for Looking for Love. We really went deep this week with our health and wellness segment, but we thank y'all for being here with us because we are trying to be healthy, not only on the inside, but on the outside as well. So we'll be here every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, our new time on Looking for Love. You can follow, friend, and like us on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, hit the bell for notifications. So when we go live, you don't ever miss an episode. Please follow us on Instagram. I'm at Trey Kearney, and he is
MAR_T_Hall13.
So you can follow, friend, and like us on there. Tell us where you found us. And we're going to give our final thoughts now. So what is your final thought for this week?
I know it sounds cliche and repeating and stuff like that, but people, know your deal breakers. Know what you need in life to make you somewhat happy. I don't think any of us have it truly figured out, but you got to know 1 or 2. You got to identify them. You got to stand on it. You got to walk away. It's your peace of mind. It's your peace, and I told somebody once before, if you were standing in the doorway and my piece is on the other side, I would run you over and I wouldn't even think about it. I wouldn't think 2 shits about it. I would run you over.
Wow.
So that's how much peace means to me. So
I know that's right. My final thought is we running folks over this week. We on one. We ain't playing with y'all no more.
Not playing.
My final thought is, in anything that you do, there will be consequences to your actions. And you have to ask yourself, when you see those red flags, is the risk worth the reward? Like Lamar said, is risking your peace of mind worth the reward? Is risking your money worth the reward? Is risking your heart worth the reward? Is the risk worth the reward? And if you have any hesitation, that it's not running the other direction. So we thank y'all so much for being here with us tonight. We went a little bit over, but that's okay.
They like it.
Y'all, and we'll see y'all next week, same time, same station on the New You Nation Network YouTube channel. And again, we just want to thank you guys because we can't do this without y'all. We just want to really bridge the gap between Generation X men and women. And we really, really, really want to end this gender war. So we love y'all and we will see y'all next week. Bye.